Welcome to the Baseball Card Illustrated channel. This video is dedicated to the memory of those who perished on this day 20 years ago, the first responders who put themselves in harm's way to help others, and to our great servicemen and women who have made it possible for me and all of us in the card community to enjoy events like the one in this video. I'm Bronko, the PSA 11, and this is the Saturday shoot-around and my trip to the Chicago Sports Spectacular, which I attended on September 3rd and 5th at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center, which was also the site of the National in Rosemont, Illinois. Let's take a look around at the scene, what I bought, and what the experience was like on Labor Day weekend.
Just arrived here at day one of the Chicago Sports Spectacular, and a couple things that immediately jump out at me. First of all, it's on the second level rather than the first floor where the National is located in the same facility. And also, as you can see, masks are required. So hopefully you can hear me and I'm still loud enough to hear and understand as much as I'm ever able to be understood. But you see, it's a little bit smaller show than what we saw last time we were here, but we're still going to find a ton of cards and great memorabilia and have a wonderful time.
Here's my first significant purchase of the show. Hopefully you can hear me over this announcement. We got $30 worth of autographed cards, including Dominic Smith, Brett Phillips, who, if he's not one of your favorite players at this point, he probably should be. He's just hilarious. We've got a Rugi Odor autograph, which I know his star has definitely fallen, but for $3, I thought that was a pretty nice deal, especially since it's his first Bowman Chrome card. We have Owen Miller, who's a local product of where I live, and it's a numbered purple parallel autograph card, and it's his first Bowman, so for $3, that was definitely worth a shot. A Lucas Giolito for $3. We got Mauricio Dubon of the San Francisco Giants. Victor Caratini, who at some point this card will probably end up with a Cubs fan. Trevor Rogers, who is a guy that Kevin knows a little bit about, so that's going to be a little gift for him. And then last but certainly not least, a guy that I've just never had an autograph of, but we've changed that now with this buyback autograph from Topps of Jim Rice. I just bought 60 cards for $30, and I found a couple deals that I really liked, including a Brett Saberhagen rookie, a Norrell Hershiser rookie, Doc Gooden there in the lower right corner that I didn't already have, Vladimir Guerrero, the father, and some other Manny Ramirez rookies there, draft pick cards. But I also have started a new PC because I clearly don't have enough already. And it's going to be this guy, Sparky Anderson. I've always kind of liked him, and I think I'm just going to go for it and start a collection of his cards. He was the manager of the Tigers when Rob Deere played in Detroit, so I picked up a bunch of these to get that collection started. Got a 1983 Topps. Saw earlier a 80 Fleer. I was trying to figure out here what it is. Anyway, we got 1984 Topps there. 1981 Donruss. Got an OPG from I believe this is 90, correct? 92. Had the 90 part right. We got Fleer from Pacific, I guess, 1988, 1987 Topps, 1986 Topps, 1989 Topps, and 1984, or I should say 1985. So Sparky Anderson, the newest PC for Bronko here on the Baseball Card Illustrated channel. If you watched my video on the National, you saw that the autograph area was just a chaotic mess. Here at the Chicago Sports Spectacular, things are much more tame, orderly, and looks like everybody is probably able to get their autographs in a fairly timely fashion. I'll admit up front, I'll probably catch a little bit of heat for this purchase, but I don't have a Ryan Braun authentic autograph card. I've gotten his autograph in person a couple different times, but I figured for $20 I'd finally break down and purchase one to add to my Brewers autograph collection. Around 2 o'clock, things are starting to wind down, and I wasn't really finding a ton of stuff that I really liked. And then I struck gold, and I spent basically the next 3 hours at one table. And I'm going to show you a whole bunch of autographs that I bought. Each of these were $1.50 a piece.
And the first two cards you're seeing here are of basketball players William Gates and Arthur Agee. And I'm guessing if you're a certain age, you have no idea who these guys are because neither one of them played in the NBA or anything. But there is a chance you might know who these guys are. So I'm not even going to say who they are and why I got these two cards and why I thought they were collectively worth $3. But I'm curious to see if, without checking Wikipedia or the internet, if anybody actually knows why I would have gotten these two cards and what the significance of these two basketball players is. Other cards that I got that you probably do know the players on are just, this is a small portion of what I picked up. We got a Tony Delk card. I was a big fan of him when he was with Kentucky. Got Trajan Langdon, who was a really good player with Duke and went on to play with the Cavs, among other teams in the NBA. Never let it be said that I'm not a fair person, and even though this guy plays for the hated football team from Missouri, I do have a lot of respect for Eric Berry and what he did to battle through some things and resume his career. So I picked up this jersey card for $1.50. I thought that was a worthwhile purchase. Here's a guy that contributed to the Broncos in a big way, Bradley Roby, who was a very good defensive back for Denver. And for $1.50, I was definitely not passing that one up. A lot of you will certainly know who this is. I think this guy is a future Hall of Famer, and for $1.50, I was definitely going to spend that on a relic card of Zach Greinke from his time with the LA Dodgers. I thought this was a really good purchase, too, for $1.50. I've been collecting his rookie cards. I almost saw him pitch a complete game in Detroit a few weeks ago. Tristan McKenzie, the right-hander from the Cleveland Indians. And then another guy that if you've been watching the channel, you know who this is. And I now have 2 autographs of you, Addison Reed. Still nothing you can do about it. And then I think the best purchase from a value perspective that I made at that table was this. For $1.50, an autographed card from Donruss Signature Series of Aramis Ramirez, who oddly enough was great against the Brewers when he was with the Pirates, was great against the Brewers when he was with the Cubs, and wasn't quite as great for the Brewers when he played in Milwaukee, but that's okay. For $1.50, I'm buying this one all day long. The Eagle has landed. This is my second day of the 3-day Chicago Sports Spectacular. It's time to raid the $2 box and found 5 autographs, total of $10. Pretty happy with all those. Ryan O'Hearn, who was in every release a couple years ago, but for $2, I'll take an Inception autograph. We got Logan Allen, certainly have heard of him. Archie Bradley, although this is, you don't really get the full effect of the beard on this one. We have Eric Bedard, who was a very good pitcher back in the early 90s, even late 80s, and then Jose Vidro. So $2 a piece, can't pass up that deal here on the last day of the Chicago Sports Spectacular. I can't say no much about this purchase, which is always how every great purchase ever made starts. But I found these WWF muscle figures, and we have a collection here of the Iron Sheik, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, which is what drew me to this purchase, and Mean Gene. So on the back, let's take a look here, and it's actually got an interview, and you know, if you were going to have an interview with Mean Gene out of these characters, you'd obviously have it with the Iron Sheik rather than, you know, the 16-time world champion Nature Boy Ric Flair. But it says, Mean Gene, which he would never have said. He always said Gene Mean. Gene Mean, look at our body. Cameraman, zoom. So there's some authenticity to this, some that's not in any way authentic at all. But for $5, I was definitely willing to be a sport on these muscle characters of Iron Sheik, Nature Boy Ric Flair, and the incomparable Mean Gene Okerlund. My final purchase, most likely, of the Chicago Sports Spectacular is a card that is sort of one that got me back interested in collecting some cards, actually. And it's this 1991 Michael Jordan short print. It's Upper Deck Baseball with Michael Jordan in his White Sox uniform taking some batting practice. It's been a long journey to find this card and at a price that I was comfortable paying, but finally today, at the end of the show, I got it. I'm taking it home. It's finally part of my collection. I'd like to thank you for joining us for the Chicago Sports Spectacular. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider joining the Baseball Card Illustrated team.
On behalf of Kevin the Diamond King, our graphics guru Dylan, and this woman whose voice is just echoing through the hall way too loud at a volume that's almost giving me a headache, I'm Bronko, the PSA 11. So long, everybody. You've been watching the Baseball Card Illustrated channel.